How would you have liked it if that had been your daughter being poked in that film? Hey! What would you have done then? Slags like your Sandra can get away with it, can't they? The Dorings of this world can't, can they?
Today I'm going to review the 1971 version of Get Carter. It was written and directed by Mike Hodges and stars Michael Caine as Carter. I thought I'd review this film because one of my subscribers called Gary, he suggested I should review it because it's 50 years since it was made in 1971, so I thought it'd be a great time to review it. It was also remade in 2000 with Sylvester Stallone, but that's not a very good version of it. It's actually based on a novel from 1970 called Jack's Return Home. It has a great cast. It's got Michael Caine in his best film, in his best performance. It's got Hendry, Britt Ekland, John Osborne, Bryan Mosley. Hey, that Britt Ekland, she's always showing the bloody knockers off. It runs 112 minutes and it cost £750,000 to make, but it didn't do very well at the box office. It was a bit of a failure, but it's well received now. This film has a cult following and it's Quentin Tarantino's one of his favourite films, and it's also in the Big FI Top 100 British Films. It's an interesting film because it was filmed in Newcastle and I only live a few minutes away from there. So it was really interesting seeing the film made more or less in the area where I live. Hey, Newcastle looks a right bloody shithole in that film. There's a great music score by Roy Bowen. When you first see the film and you see the train that Michael Caine's on going through all these tunnels and you hear the music in the background, really exciting start, and it gets you into the mood of the film. Jack Carter's brother being killed, and Jack's a gangster from London, so he travels to the northeast, Newcastle, to find out what the hell went wrong with his brother, how he got killed and everything. So he's kind of investigating all these people who knew his brother, and he gets involved with the Newcastle underground gangsters. This film's from the golden period of cinema, the early 70s. They were allowed to do more violent films in this period because the censorship laws were relaxed a bit. Michael Caine based his performance on his own underground connections. So when he plays the part, it's all calculated. You can tell just by his movements that he's a character who likes to get everything organised and right. And when he does do violence, he does it quick before the other fella can react. So he based it all on how proper violent gangsters. It was all based on reality. It's actually a groundbreaking film because it doesn't glorify violence. Because all these modern films, they're a bit more violent, but the violence is sort of like over the top, like you'll say heads exploding and stuff like that. But in this film it does violence, but it does it in a naturalistic way. So like when some guy gets stabbed in the back of the betting shop, you say Michael Caine stabbing him in the stomach, but you don't say sort of like excessive blood or anything. You just say like a red blood patch on his chest where the knife went in.
Christ, I didn't kill him. I know you didn't kill him. I know!
It was all done realistically. The actual setting of Newcastle's really good as well. They go in people's houses, they're all dirty and like the walls are all scruffy and everything. And it really does give it a realistic look. The cast is all great and the film sort of has like an hypnotic effect. There's some scenes with the music in the background where it's like has a weird, strange feeling to it when you're watching it. It's a very cold, gritty film as well. And the character of Jack Carter, he is a bad man. He's still a gangster, but although he's like doesn't have good morals or anything, he's still kind of your anti-hero because he's facing people who are even more evil, like really nasty people who are into all this pornography, child pornography and drugs and all that type of stuff. There's some great lines in the film. There's a brilliant bit where he takes Hendry's glasses off and he says, he's on about his eyes, he says they still look the same, still like piss holes in the snow. Brilliant line, that. Right from the beginning there's a strange bit where there's a guy drinking in a bar, and if you check his hand out, the actor had 6 fingers. So that's a weird little fact. Caine's performance is brilliant though. There's one particular scene where he's in a bedroom and he's watching this film, and he finds out that it's his brother's daughter who's been doing pornographic films underage, and you see him actually like crying. Brilliant scene, and the way he takes revenge on people, it's really thought out and calculated. The only trouble with the film is that I have a little bit of an issue with the ending. Spoiler alert, but he ends up getting shot right at the end, Michael Caine's character, Jack Carter. And it kind of, I don't know about that ending. I would have liked the character to have survived. Although on the other hand, it sort of like says that you can't really get away with violence. Like, violence is his own undoing, so anyone can get killed. Another weird thing about this film is the guy who shoots him, the assassin. You actually see him right at the beginning of the film where Jack's on the train. He's like sitting opposite. So maybe he was watched all the way through the film, right from the very beginning. He was kind of marked. Ian Hendry's really good in the film as well. He's a really sleazy character. He ends up getting whiskey poured down his throat because that's what he did to Jack's brother before he got killed. They poured whiskey down his throat and then did a car crash made on he was drunk, but he wasn't. So like at the final, Michael Caine's character gets his own back. Really good scene, and it must have been awful playing that because they're all covered in like oily, muddy stuff. So they get really dirty at the end.
Did you all have a good laugh? Eh? You have a good laugh when he was spewing it out? Eh? Drink it! Drink it! Drink it!
Hey, that Ian Hendry, he used to be a bloody alcoholic, him, you know. I bet he wrote that bloody last scene himself. I bet he did lots of bloody right takes. I bet his eyes were like bloody piss holes in the snow when he finished. So overall, I thought this film was absolutely excellent. And out of 10, I'd give it top marks. 10. 10 out of 10. Groundbreaking film, really set the bar high for the crime films. What did you think, Bones? Did you like it? Top bloody marks, Phil. Michael Caine sorts the buggers out. Okay, everybody, bye. See you next time. Subscribe and like. Bye.
Piss holes in the snow.
Still got a sense of humour.